Hi there, Karen here to talk to you about how to do the finger replica for your science birthday party. Okay, so this experiment should take you about 20 to 25 minutes depending on how many kids you have. Let me show you what you need to do the experiment. You need little bottles like this, one per child, so about 8 if you have 8 kids. You need some water, you need some alginate, and some plaster. So these are 2 bags that you're gonna have. What I've done, I've just put them in these containers as well, that you're gonna get 2 of them with your package. And you need 2 plastic spoons. So here I've taken what's inside my bag and put it in there. So we're gonna put it aside. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to do it for 4 kids. If you have 8 kids, you have the option of doing it all at the same time, or you have the option of doing 4 kids at a time. You're gonna understand what I mean. And also, when you have the finger replica to do in a science birthday party, it needs to be the first experiment that you do with the kids, because there's time that is gonna be needed for the finger to dry so that you can do the big reveal before the end of the party. So do this experiment first. All right, so you give each child an empty bottle like this with the cap, and they can remove the cap. They're gonna keep it for later. It's gonna be useful later. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open 4 bottles with their caps off, and we're gonna put them here. Okay, so there we go. First, we're gonna use the alginate. Alginate is a very common product used by dentists. I don't know if you have ever had molds taken of your teeth, but dentists use this to mold teeth. So what I suggest is that you pass it around. It either smells minty or like a bubble gum. So you can ask the kids if they've ever smelled something like that, because smell and memory are very closely related in our brain. So oftentimes when we smell something, it triggers a memory, which is often really awesome. So you can ask the kids, pass it around to see if they've ever, smelled that. And you can tell them after that this is used by dentists to do mold of our teeth. All right, so what we've done is we've put 2 spoons per child. So in this little container, I have 8 spoons of alginate. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put 1 bottle of water per child. So in this case, we're doing 4. I'm gonna fill up this one 4 times and put it in. What's really important here is that your water is really cold. If you have hot water or warm water or lukewarm water, it's gonna not work. See, first of all, our alginate is turning pink, which is exactly what you want. And alginate dries very fast. So the warmer the water, the faster your alginate will dry, and you're gonna see it becoming a different color. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. If your alginate is too liquidy, then again, that's not gonna work very well. So in this case, this is perfect. And what we're gonna do, in this experiment, there's little time restrictions, so you have to kind of act fast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some alginate in every one of our pill bottles. It's okay if there's spillage, don't worry about it. And here we go. So like I said before, here is where I suggest that you do half and half. So you can do half the alginate just to make sure you're not stressed with time and making sure that it doesn't dry too fast, so that you can have the experiment work well with the kids. So here we go. Obviously, they're not full yet, my pill bottles. What I'm gonna need ask the kids to do is just to give it a slight tap on the table so that the bubbles go away and that we have more space to put our alginate. Here we go. All right, so once you have a pill bottle that is full of alginate, you can give it to the kids, and the kids can put their finger in the middle. So what we have to do to put our finger in the middle is make sure that the finger doesn't touch any of the sides inside the bottle, so that it's gonna do a good mold. See, this is good, this is awesome, and this one needs a little bit more tugging. There we go. So this is perfect. All right, so this is awesome. So what you're gonna ask one child to do is, well, all the 4 kids to do, is take their finger and really put it inside the middle. You see, this is very satisfying as well. So it's gonna spill everywhere. So the very important thing here is that the child doesn't move, because the more you move your finger, the less the little replica will be identical and will be very detailed. So if they don't move, they're gonna have such an awesome replica of their finger. So while this is drying, you can explain to the kids about special effects. Special effects are found in movies, on TV, and it's very important not to always follow what we see and believe what we see, because science has a big role to do with special effects. For example, what we're doing today, recreating body parts that are going to look so real that you're going to think that the finger broke off when it really didn't. So science has a big role to play with special effects, and this is what we're doing today. We are actually creating a special effects with the kids. So you can ask them what's the most awesome special effect they've seen in a movie or in a TV show, and just open the discussion with them about this really cool facet of science. So as we're discussing, you can see that my alginate has turned kind of beigey, which is perfect. So I'm just going to do the finger test. If my finger comes out and it doesn't stick to it, that means that my alginate is ready and my mold is ready, so the child can slowly remove their finger from the cavity inside. And here we go. Here we have it. So this is awesome. This is perfect. Now, what's next? After this, we have to create the plaster. So I know I'm all about having the kids do their own thing, but the plaster and alginate, I think, is something the adult should do, because first of all, the alginate dries so fast, and the plaster, we really need to have like a good consistency. So maybe the adult can put the water and the children can participate in stirring the mix. So always start with a little bit of water at a time, just to make sure you don't put too much, because that you can always rectify. So I'm gonna put a little bit of water and I'm gonna mix my plaster. So for the plaster, there's no like secret quantity water versus plaster. What we're gonna wanna have is kind of a cream of chicken soup, you know, something liquidy but consistent. We don't want it too liquidy. What happens if plaster is too liquidy? It's gonna take forever to dry. It's just not gonna dry. What happens if plaster is too thick? Well, and then the opposite happens. It dries too fast and then it cracks. So in this case right here, I think it's a little bit too consistent. So we're gonna add a tiny bit of water. There we go. All right. And maybe again here, put half of your bag of plaster so that you always have extra, just in case anything happens that you didn't account for. All right, so in this case, my plaster is really perfect. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take each child's mold and make sure the kids keep their mold in front of them so that they know which finger they're bringing home after. All right, so here we go. And we just have to slide in the plaster within the cavity. And there we go. So as it's going in, and again here, to remove any air bubbles, you can do a gentle tap and make sure it has stopped. So there you have it. Our finger replica experiment is done. What we need to do is come back for the reveal later. I would say to give it a good 45 minutes before you do the unveiling. Now, plaster is very interesting because it's a chemical reaction, and when it dries, it becomes warm. So maybe towards the middle of the party, you can ask the kids to touch the plaster and they're gonna see there's heat that comes out of it. Well, when the heat is creating, once it has cooled down, that's exactly when your plaster will be ready. All right, so let's reveal a finger together then. So I have some fingers I've done previously. Here we go. So to remove your finger from the plastic cavity, you just have to, if there's over spillage, that's good because it'll be like a point for you to pull. If ever there is nothing that comes out and it's hard, put it upside down and kind of squeeze it in your hands to let some air pass through, and then it'll come out gently like this. All right, so at this point, we're gonna peel our finger replica like a banana. So we're gonna take out the alginate, which is a really cool moisture to it, and we're gonna do the finger unveiling. And the kids often can't believe how precise it came out. And there you have it. Let's take it out. Oh, there you have it. Our finger replica. So to Bring it home safely. The kids can, again, use their little bottle like this and take their cover. And they'll be able to take it home. And at home, you can suggest to them that they can paint it or have fun with it. So enjoy yourselves.